Hello!
Sipping Time sponsored by Morse Amalgam.
Did you see it?
Nani?
That was me yawning. that was me yawning because alrighty. Ding dong. Alrighty. You know what? I know there's a minute to go, but you know what? This is a good not a morning. Sorry. This is a good evening, I just want to say. Hi everyone. Welcome to the stream. I hope we're all doing all right. Hang on a second. Let me just take a quick sip. Cuz what I did is like I don't know how many of you do this, but do you ever get like, you know how you have like the cup of noodles, the ones that's like, you know, you open like the thingy majiggy halfway, you sprinkle the seasoning and the fake veggies, and then you pour in the boiling water, you close the lid for like 3 minutes or so, and then you have like, you know, the noodles are all like, you know, nice and soft, and you stir that around and such. I have an additional step with mine where I will go and I'll pour the remainder out. And like I'll just have it as like a soup or something like that in like a separate glass. All this extra this like excessive water or what have you. Hi there, Het. Welcome to the stream. I'm just explaining my do you pour the noodle actually, you know what? I can make that a poll. Actually. Or I can make Morse make it a poll. Morse, you have the power to make a poll, don't you? Do you pour the noodle water out of your 2-minute noodle? All right, I want you to see if you can. So I want you to like, you know, do a thingy madiggy for like do you pour the like, you know, the noodle water, you know, the stuff from your 2-minute noodles where it has all the sauce and such, but it's really extra hot, so you just sort of, but you want to get to your noodles, which aren't extra hot. So what you do is you just like sort of pour the noodle water out from the one receptacle and you put it in like a broth. Thank you. Broth. That sounds more appropriate. Gosh darn it. Face cam when? 10,000 subs. You think I'm joking? That's what it takes. 10,000 subs. I ain't doing it for less than 10,000, okay? Because with like for about 2,000 to 4,000 subs, I can like, you know, I can live on like the actual like subscription whatsamahoozies and such like that. I could quit my full-time job, but I'm only going to like ever do a face reveal for like 10,000 subs.
I don't care what gender you are. Put on the maid outfit.
Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this, Benru? Do I mean broth? Like the noodle water. A secret. I love how you have a secret third thing. Thank you for the hyper himbo as well, Sir Dragon. I do appreciate it. Ah! Oh, damn it, my underwear doesn't work when I'm hyper himboed. I need to create like a shape key for the underwear so it's like properly hides the hyper himbo, like get cactued. I didn't want to get cactued. Also, I need to fix the cactar thing so like it does like a I need to duplicate a method or something like that. Hi there, Jason. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing all right. Welcome, welcome. Let me put me back into this corner here and then let me get the game started. So yeah, you put the flavor packet in the water and you make soup. No. So you still go through all that stuff. You still go through that stuff earlier, Zach. You still pour the water and the flavoring, like you still put the flavoring and all the stuff like in the whatsamahoozy thing. It's just a case of, you know, you also have to like do all the Yes, it works. You just have like an extra fourth step. You just have this extra step where you also, is that too loud? It's a little bit loud. Master volume. That's a lot better. That's better. Yep, full screen, V6 text size. Let's go medium. Yeah, let's go. I wish it would show us like the size. Speeds up the game's animation. Turn on and off visible bloodings, and okay, turn off camera shake. Start. All right, welcome to Inkulinati. You start by exploring the academy. Is a replayable adventure where every run is different. All right, okay. Cooking instructions. No. This isn't difficult cooking instructions. This is an additional step to the 2-minute noodles, okay? Because they don't tell you to do anything with the water. But I want to eat my noodles. So what you do is you don't just drain it into the sink. You put it in like a cup. So then that way, if you want to get to the noodles quickly, you can do that. But then you also have this lovely, like, broth. So yeah. Do you not know how to measure the water when you make it? They always give you more. They always tell you to put in more water. There's always more water than necessary, okay? Never mind. Learn the basics needed for, like, Inkulinati duels. Alright. Chapter 1. Welcome! You are starting your first battle against the wild beasts. In a moment, you will learn how to fight them effectively. During the battle, you will perform actions with your tiny and the beasts you have drawn. Let's start with the tiny, a tiny self-portrait of the real Inkulinati, who is sitting over the manuscript. If your tiny dies, you will lose the battle. Yep, okay. You can only draw beasts near your tiny. The range of each action you can perform is indicated by green dials. To draw a beast, you must spend ink. Above the beast icon, you can see how many drops of ink it requires. In the upper left corner next to the tiny portrait, you can check how much ink you have. So I got 10 ink, And I can make 5 doggos. So I'll put a doggo there. His name is Toby. Right after you draw a beast, they take a nap. This means they can't move until the next... Ah, okay, so this is summoning sickness. So, alright, so the ink is my mana base, and then I can summon creatures, but they come in with summoning sickness, so I can't use them to attack in the same turn that they're summoned. I bet you there's going to be a creature that's going to be like, oh, it has haste or something, or rather. Huh? Where's the thingy-majig? Oh, there it is. I need to have, like, a better scan thingy-majiggy. Maybe I need to make it so that I can actually, like, it faces me forward or something. Maybe I need to rethink the whole, like, scanning feature and puts me in, like, a separate scene or what have you. So, yeah. Back. Oh, dear English. Right after you draw a beast, they take a nap. This means they can't make a move until the next... Oh, I already said this. What is a chapter? It is a round during which the opponent takes turns to move their beasts or tiny, just like in chess. Each beast and tiny moves only once each chapter. The chapter ends when everyone has made their moves. New beasts, as well as units that have moved, are snoozing. This means that they can no longer move in this chapter. Your tiny is the last unit awakened. End their turn, and thus the entire chapter, by drawing another beast. Chapter 2. The opponent takes turns making moves. If you had the last move in the previous chapter, your opponent starts the next chapter. Unlike tinies, beasts can freely roam the battlefield. Each beast has different statistics. Hover over the beast to learn basic information about it. Moving to a green field, walking range, does not end the beast's turn. They can still perform an action, attack, although it will no longer be possible to switch to a different beast. Any action other than moving to a green field will end the beast's turn. Moving to a yellow field will end the beast's turn. The beast will take a nap. Each action has limited range. Green and purple dials show the range of the action. Green means there is an available target on the field, and an action can be used there. If there is no range available on the square, the shield is purple. Once you're close to an enemy, choose the attack action. Target the enemy and confront it. Swords only attack adjacent fields. Your target is not an adjacent field. Move your beast again to attack. When you confirm the target of the attack, you will see an indicator moving next to the number. The number you stop at is the amount of damage you will deal. If you keep the pointer on the skull, the enemy will die. When time runs out, the pointer will stop by itself. Alright. Easy. In addition to drawing beasts, the tiny Inkulinati has a secret weapon. Hand actions. Each Inkulinati can do something different with their hands. Some heal, others punch a manuscript. Your chosen action is Swat, which will deal 5 damage to one enemy. Some hand actions have a cooldown. This means that once you use them, you can't use them again for a certain number of chapters. The number by the hourglass icon shows you how many chapters remain before the cooldown ends. During the tiny Inkulinati's turn, unlike the beast's turn, you can perform all available actions. Now, choose an enemy to attack him. Yay. I figured you might like this because it's Anthro Animals and medieval Monty Python style nonsense. I haven't yet seen the Monty Python nonsense, but it does have some MTG nonsense to it. You can only move one unit, beast or tiny, at a time. After performing an action with a selected unit, you cannot switch to a different one. Tinies, unlike beasts, can perform all actions during a turn. Draw a beast and use all hand actions. When you select the nap icon or perform all available actions, you will end the tiny's turn. Did it! I've smashed you like a baby. Next lesson. Godfrey. Oh, okay. Choose between move left and move right. The selected beast, friend or enemy, will move onto the first unoccupied field in the chosen direction. No unoccupied fields? Too bad. That means the beast will fall into the abyss and die. The deadliest Inkulinati technique. Beasts will be pushed onto the first unoccupied space. What does pushing do? Push an enemy into the abyss to kill them instantly. I wonder if there was a puzzle to that. I wonder if there was like a way of like killing all your enemies at once, but I don't think there was. Cookie for Jonathaniel. Here you go, Jonathaniel. Also, I am not cute, I am handsome. I am a handsome Zeebs, or Inea Zach. Handsome. Alrighty. Some battlefields have more than one level. Beasts that don't fly can only reach different levels by climbing ladders, and there aren't any here. Make sure the beast you draw is at the right level. Hand actions aren't the only way you can push enemy units. Each beast can push another beast or tiny if they're adjacent to it. Be careful not to stand too close to the edge. Don't worry about being pushed here. We've taken away your opponent's push action for training purposes. Yay! I'm the best! Next lesson. Oh my goodness, we get a cutscene? A live action cutscene? I have a helmet like that. Raid! Hi, Deakus! Welcome to the stream! Welcome everyone. My name is Grant. I'm a variety himbo streamer. I hope you had a wonderful time in Secret of Mana. I am right now playing a fantasy game too. Inkulinati. I draw animals and Jesus, the boob bouncing. Boobs. I could try and make them bouncier. I need to talk to like Unnamed or someone and be like, hey, how do I make the boobies bouncier for like VR chat and shit? Welcome, future Inkulinati champion. Two masters of the living ink Inkulinati will duel on the margins of an ancient manuscript. This is your entry exam. You'll be playing as Godfrey in a duel against Hildegard, the Holy Church Reformer. In order to win an Inkulinati duel, you must destroy your opponent's tiny Inkulinati. To do so, either reduce its health to 0, or push it into the abyss, or the fire of the apocalypse. Sword attacks deal the most damage, although they can only target adjacent fields. Spear attacks can reach up to 2 fields away, or 1 level away. Bow attacks can hit up to 6 fields away. You'd make them rounder first? Noted. Actually, I'm gonna add that to my you know what? I'm gonna add that to the possible notes of the future thingy-madiggies. Give me a second. Where's my zebra? Here we go. Design, larger eyes. Bubble. I've already put in the bubble butt. Mesh, clear loop cuts at the wrist, the ankles. What can I say? You're a meaty peck-loving guy. Understandable. Belly bulge, pants. All right. I'm gonna put it under like the belly and pants bulge. So, ding dong. Peck to boobs. So we'll see how that. Oops. Let's see. So we got the muscle asymmetric to. Alright, yep, so that's textures, and then we got armatures. Hi there, Shibore! How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Blame Benru for putting me in the maid outfit. I'm gonna wear this for like an hour. I'm gonna be real with you. Sometimes I feel like lowering the amount of time I'm in the maid outfit, even though it costs like 10,000 channel points. Also, why is there targeted ads? What do you mean these targeted ads are out of control, Morse? Don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, but yeah, I've got like a number of, I got like some notes that I want to, no! Gosh, darn it. We need to get back into the game. Why you anti-maid outfit? Why are you so interested in being a maid outfit? It's because chat, like, I need to encourage interaction with my chat. And, you know, all you degenerates are more interested in putting me in a maid outfit than, you know, trying to, like, find the cheer redeem for, like, bigger boobs or what have you. So, anywhoosies, moving on. Bow attacks can hit up to 6 fields away, except adjacent ones. Beasts that use bows have the lowest amount of health, however. I don't think I could pull off a maid outfit. Sure you can. Everyone can. Everyone can. That's why the twinks have the maid outfit, the himbos have the maid outfit, your bears, your otters, everyone gets a maid outfit. Depends on how hard you pull. Alright, so can I like alright, cool, I can zoom out and I can look at the thing. Welcome, oh future champion of Inkulinati. I have the honor of guiding you through your first battle. Alright, so... Alright. So that's our first guy, Spearman. And then our second one is going to be Bowman. Okay, so I can't... Alright, no. Okay, take a nap. Oh, I could have poked one of my guys and they would have gone, like, all the way across, wouldn't they? Oh, I'm in... Oh, wait, it wouldn't matter because... Yeah, okay. Collecting ink. To draw beasts, you need ink. You can replenish your ink by ending your turn on ink blots. You will receive 3 drops of ink for your tiny and each allied beast standing on the field, but only when the chapter ends. Hi there, Ribber! Welcome to the stream. I am playing... I'm not playing Fairy Godmother, I'm playing Inkulinati, or however you pronounce it. Here you can see how much living ink Inkulinati currently has. Keep an eye on it. If you want to learn more specific gameplay elements, please refer to the instructions list. What's prayer? Level and make them temporary unpushable. Ah, okay. There are 3 types of ink blots: small, medium, and large. You can collect 3 drops of ink from each one at a time. The ink blot size determines how many times you can collect ink from it. Small ink blots you can only use once, but you can finish a chapter on the large one up to 3 times before they disappear. Alright, I'm gonna pray so it makes me unpushable. Praying will cause the beast to execute a more powerful attack on its next move. Praying beasts are unpushable until their next turn, meaning they can't be thrown into the abyss. Nice. Wait, what is the... Hang on. The thingy-majiggy is, like, increasing in, what's-a-mahoozies. Hang on. A moment later, Marizus, known for being all goody-goody, he puttered around expeditiously to meet his fate. If Bert, even if it's hard to believe, sent his thoughts casually. If Bert barely flicked his cousin, and he felt as empty as a bakery in the evening. Dobby pranced on towards his utter disgrace, after which he felt somewhat hungry. Unexpectedly, Dobby walloped some chap, and he was nearly ready to meet the Maker. Duke Nook hiked on beautifully. Meanwhile, Duke Nook scratched the fool, and the laughter died on his lips. Wait, what? Tango Works has been saved and they won't be closed down? Yes! Oh, fuck, yeah! Okay, that's awesome. I gotta need to read more about that, because I'm pretty sure Tango Works is like... Because that's a Japanese company, and Microsoft shuttered it, but maybe there was like something in the clause or something or other where it's like, hey, because you purchased the company, you can't just, you know, disintegrate it. So maybe it's one of those cases of they're just no longer able to be associated with Microsoft or some shit. I will need to check things out. They got acquired by Krafton Studios in South Korea. I will read more about it after the stream. I couldn't pull one off, but I'm sure I could unzip one. It reminds you of Epic Mickey? I can imagine that. Alrighty, so these two are snoozing. And, okay, so that guy could only flick. And he only goes, like, 1 space. So I'll take another nap. Hi there, Flu. Taking another shirt, I see. Okay, so they take a rest. They take a rest. Chapter 3. Use tooltip. The icon at the top of the screen switches tooltip mode on and off. If you want to know if your opponent's beast is able to attack, check its movement range. If you want to do this while playing on a controller, you must enable tooltip. In a given turn, you can only move 1 unit, either beast or your tiny. You can decide which one to move. You can switch between active, non-napping units with a dedicated button. Yeah. Hmm. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to be a Jace. Special area attacks allow you to target more than one enemy at a time, but be careful. If one of your allies comes within range of the attack, it will also take damage. Okay, that's not worth. All right, we're just gonna do one attack. GrantZeebs, another one for the pile. Oh yay. Another one for the pile. Fine. All right, 4 hits there, and then yep. So that guy moves. I'm gonna have him nap again. So we get... Alrighty, we need to... Apocalyptic fire! Uh-oh. This is the beginning of the end of the battle. At first, you will see the fields that are going to be affected by the apocalypse in the next chapter. Everything, including your tiny Illuminati that remained in this field, will be destroyed. If your tiny Inkulinati ends up on the field of apocalypse fire, push them off it to save them. Remember that you can only use beasts to push your tiny. Kill the enemy tiny with attacks. Push them out of the field, or let the apocalypse get them. Then you will be victorious. Oh my god, that... I didn't realize there was gonna be 2 of them to worry about. Oh, god damn you. And then she'll draw another one. Alright, now my guy... So what I can do is... I'm doing my best! There we go, that does a hit of 5. And then snooze. I'm doing my best, Het. I'm trying to avoid the apocalypse fire. Chapter 5. Alright, so as long as I can... Oop. There we go. So now that gets them stuck. Oh, they go into the... God damn you. Let's do 4 on you. Oh, and then gain. Okay. Dog there. And then... Snooze. Alright, so they're gonna try and do the slingshot thing. Dobby! Oh my gosh. Alright, wait, can I... Oh, yep. Push you. And you end up in the fire. Yeah! I've smashed you like a baby. Alright. So, lend me your ear and hear of this butchery. A moment later, Maurice, known for being a all goody-goody, puttered around expeditiously to meet his fate. Ifbert, even if it's hard to believe, sent his thoughts casually. Ifbert barely flicked his cousin, and he felt as empty as a bakery in the evening. Dobby pranced on toward his utter disgrace, after which he felt somewhat hungry. Unexpectedly, Dobby walloped some chap, and he was nearly ready to meet the Maker. Duke Nook hiked on beautifully. Meanwhile, Duke Nook scratched the fool, and the laugh died on his lips. Divine Maurice fearfully killed the unworthy wretch, and as a result, he lost his way, his key, and his moral compass. Meanwhile, Duke Nook, whom you've all surely heard of, strolled and composedly onwards. God-fearing Duke Nook grazed the foe, and he was filled with pride. Terrified snouts reflected the enormity of the cataclysm. Dobby slugged his old friend, and he feared the cold revenge. Unexpectedly, Piast advanced where the challenge awaited. Maurice, step by step, rolled on towards his destiny, and everyone knew he did the right thing. On the same day, Maurice jabbed the enemy, and everyone knew he did the right thing. Piast moved on ahead, and everyone knew he did the wrong thing. Piast cuffed the fool, and he felt as empty as a bakery in the evening. A moment later, Dobby annihilated the foe, and that was rather sad. Sir Alec, unknown amongst wider circles, dawdled slowly. A moment later, Sir Alec smashed the enemy, and he feared the cold revenge. Maurice jogged forward, decidedly where duty called. Powerful Dobby moderately struck his cousin, and his soul trembled, shook and shivered. A happy ending was not in the stars this time. Piast advanced expeditiously, after which he felt somewhat hungry. Piast gently scratched his old friend at the point he decided to take a break. Regrettably, Sir Alec gently flicked the unworthy wretch, and the laughter died on his lips, and no lovers of wholesome biscuits remain breathing. Okay, I don't understand what any of that says, but yay, we went through the tutorial. Another one for the pot. You have completed the tutorial. This gives you the basics to start journey mode. Of course, you can continue the academy to develop your craft, but you must know that the academy is only a series of short challenges. The real battles are fought in the journey. So we did the... Here, Hildred would teach you the tactical nuances of prayers, blessing, and pushes, as well as how to effectively display a rabbit's bum. Huh. And then intermediate... Alright, fuck it. We're doing a new journey. You will be granted 1 star after completing 1 journey mode run, which will include only 5 acts. You will be granted a 2nd star after completing a 2nd run, which will include 6 acts. You'll be granted a 3rd star after completing a 3rd journey, which will include 7. Try to beat death on the famous Inkulinati scoreboard. Cool. How would I rate my difficulty with the learning? Not bad. Alright, Miller, Andreas, Damsel, Looney, Alewife, Miller. An artist with a university degree, he decided to join the Inkulinati Academy in hopes of escaping an arranged marriage. Yeah, that sounds cool. We're gonna change it to... Is there a purple? Not really. Alrighty, we are gonna go with... We're gonna go with yellow, like my underwear. Alright. Prayers and headaches. Prevent push effects, use halos, harass heretics, and give enemies headbutts by showing them rabbit butts. Bark of War. Ooh, what's Bark of War? Turn failure into success. Attack with everything. Sword, hoof, and even a big Inkulinati hand. So that gives us hand actions. Oh, you need, like, prestige for all these things. Okay. So what's this one? Can't push your tiny. This talent can only be selected at the start of the journey. Alright. Left, right. Will die if their health drops to 0. This does healing. So I have the choice of healing or increasing the level of halos of 2. Beast with a headache can either move or take an action. Not both. Headaches last until the end of the beast's turn. Alright, so attacks the adjacent space with great force and accuracy and gives the target a headache. Causes an enemy beast to take a nap, get a headache, and lose accuracy. This action won't work if the target isn't facing your beast. Give the player 1 level of Halo and make them temporarily unpushable. Alrighty. 4 to 6, 2 to 4, 2, 9, 8. Alright, let's give it a try. Alrighty. The characters. Okay, cool. Alright, let's give this a try. So we start. Today, you will pass your final exam, become an Inkulinati master, and then send off on your Inkulinati journey. You still have to face a wild beast encounter before you can take your exam, though. Wild beast encounter? Just the wild beast encounter icon. Tiny Inkulinati versus wild beast encounters are marked with the sword and quill icon. The tiny enemy Inkulinati is not present in this type of battle. Once you enter a location, you cannot leave, so choose carefully. Alrighty then. Face off against the wild beast. Be careful, they will regain health when they drain 12 drops. If you win, you'll be rewarded with gold and a small amount of prestige. Cool. Apocalypse. Cool. Apocalypse in 4 chapters. Every 2 to 3 chapters is a glade event. Random objects on the field will appear on the battlefield. Cool. Awesome. So, 20, 12, 9, 10, 12. Okay. Chapter 1. Alrighty, so... Wait, why can't I? Aw. No, I'm just gonna snooze. Queen! Hi, Queen! How are you doing? I hope you're doing alright. I am playing Inkulinati. Alright, so I'm gonna move him here. And then causes an enemy to take a nap, get a headache, and lose accuracy. I just showed them my butt. That's so much bigger than I was expecting. Wait, what was so much bigger? The hello? Like, it's any kind of, like, what's a mahoozy? Any kind of, like, hello thingamadiggy. I have, like, all sorts of hello there's, like... It changes for the user. Hello. So. Alrighty. Alright, so they're doing their thing. Alright, arrow. Alrighty, so. So that's 12. Alright, I'm gonna go for. There's like a little slider thing. Unpushable, halo, accuracy, damage. Alrighty, and then... So... That increases their accuracy and their damage. When action has been taken, the unit cannot be... What? Oh, so I can't push it? Oh, okay. Gonna go to sleep. Nice! Good himbo rating. Time to see if I can break your sensors. Nah, 5% himbo. Look, it's okay. It's okay. I'll need to improve the systems a little bit, because, you know, I'm getting subscribers and, like, you know, some people who have been here for quite a while. I might have to start, like, giving, like, bonuses and shit like that and doing, like, some proper C# nonsense. Alrighty, then. Let's give you a hit, because I'm pretty sure you can't attack them, so... There we go. Halo loses the accuracy, loses the damage. That's fine. So now... Actually, can I... So that gets you onto the thingy-majiggy. And then... Fuck it, I'm just gonna have him sleep. So we get more ink, that's fine. And then, yep, we got the Apocalypse Fire. If I was a him, I'd probably be a full himbo. Ladies can be himbos. Oh, you know what I should probably try and do? I should probably double check this. I should probably double check and see if there's a way for it to, like, connect up to the pronouns thingy-majiggy. I reckon StreamerBot has a thing where you can connect to the pronouns thingy-majiggy. So then that way, if you set your pronouns, I can make it so that the, like, exclamation point himbo, bimbo, thembo gets applied. So then that way, like, when you do those, it does the rating, but it will change it based off of your assigned gender. Or is it gender or is it sex? By your gender identity. I'm pretty sure it's gender identity, isn't it? Yes, it's gender identity. I believe it is. The apocalypse is nigh! Oh, this is the beginning of the end of the battle! At first, you will see the fields that are going... Oh, I already heard all about all this. Alrighty. You are going to go... here. And then you're going to attack them. Sex is the part, gender is the presentation. Yes, okay, so gender. I gotta look, so I reckon, I wonder, is that a thing? Hang on a second. So, StreamerBot, what's the name of the AI, hang on a second, not the AI, the pronouns, there we go. Alright, so the Twitch frequently asked questions. Does this work with OBS? It's available as an add-on for Francerface, and OBS allows to be enabled within the settings if your account is linked. By doing so, you can enable pronouns in the embedded chat. If you want to add the pronouns to your on-screen chat, feel free to check out Zaytree's chat bubbles. Ooh. The extension uses a cache to reduce load on the server. Sometimes this may mean that some pronouns, including yours, won't show up in real time. In most browsers, you can do Control F5 or Control Shift R to reload without cache and force your browser to get the latest pronouns. If after refreshing a tab with chat open, you still can't see your pronouns and 15 minutes has passed, try restarting the browser. Noted. Alright, hang on a second. I am going... So, ding. Close that. StreamerBot, ding. Or actually, no. StreamerBot... pronouns. New pronouns thingamadoogie. If user Fetch the allegio pronouns for a given user. Hey, it is a thing in 0.2.3. Nice. Awesome. So it is a thing in StreamerBot. So I could probably do a C# thingy-majiggy. Oh my goodness, Morse. If it doesn't have the set integration for the pronouns API, you can probably just make a call for it. Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't know how to do that part. But thankfully, it looks like the pronouns thingy-majiggy is there. So yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. We're gonna... Oh, I'm gonna be cooking tomorrow, let me tell you. So... Oh my goodness. Queen Kaiju Pixel, thank you so much for the inspiration. Can we get a shout out for Queen Kaiju Pixel, please? I got some dialogue to read. As an old friend used to say, images illuminate a path to the truth. In this case, your loss. Grrr. So yeah. Yay! I've increased, like, the thingy. And then that says, each time you draw a beast during your journey, it gains a level of boredom. The amount of living ink needed to draw a beast is increased by its boredom level. Okay, so because I've done, like, an archer twice, it increases the cost by 2, so I should probably... Alright, choose a reward. Prestige or gold? I'm gonna go with prestige. Okay. Oh, I can grab both. Okay, cool. Your health regenerates a little after every battle. And by how many points, you may ask? Like it said at the beginning, that depends on your difficulty. What if I lose all my health? If your health drops to 0, the battle is lost. When you lose a battle, you will be restored to full health and lose 1 quill. If you lose a battle and you don't have any quills left, your journey is over. Inkulinati gets tired of drawing beasts. Every time they draw a beast, their boredom level goes up. The higher the boredom, the more ink it costs to draw a beast. Now, repeat. The higher the boredom, the more ink it costs to draw a beast. Alright, to decrease boredom, draw different beasts in your next battle. Fight a beast versus beast battle, or visit the chapel. Got it? Yes. Alrighty. Beast battle! Apocalypse level is the fire. Apocalypse in chapter 5. So we got... Cool. Awesome. Ding, 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 ding. I can't change you around. I can't change you around. Apparently I can change my army? But I don't exactly have a way of getting the new... Alright. Alrighty. So this is our fighting beast battles. This is your first battle without a tiny, isn't it? In battles like these, it still matters which beast you choose. After all, they'll be the ones fighting for you. So make sure to bring your best, strongest beasts. Of course, if the enemy defeats you, you'll lose your quill. Good news, though. Good news, everyone! That character is totally Loda, and your voice for him ain't helping. In fact, all your beasts will have their boredom levels decreased after the battle. Isn't that great? It's important to collect living ink, even when your enemy doesn't have a tiny. When an army without a tiny collects 12 or more drops of living ink, all their beasts will heal 5 health, and will be granted 3 levels of Halo at the end of the chapter. The goal is to get rid of all your opponent's beasts. Alrighty, so we want that guy sitting around. That thing gives us... Stand there. Cool. Sweet, I can show my butt to a person that far away. Dropping the accuracy and giving him a headache. Nice. Oh boy. And then you sit there for the thingy. we go. Nice. Chapter 2. What the fuck, isn't it? Sometimes your beast will need to move up or down a level on the battlefield. Non-flying beasts can use ladders to go up or down a level. Flying beasts don't need to. You can sometimes use beast actions and even attack enemies on different levels. Not with a sword, though. Check the action range to see if your beast can reach the enemy level standing. Alrighty, so you can go... Actually, hang on. What about you? You can go, like, probably... Yeah, okay, you can go above. Alright, I'm gonna go... I'm gonna go here, blocking your thingy-majiggy. And then I'm gonna stab you in the butt. Oh, damn it, there was a 6.1. I missed all the 6 points. Oh, you bastard. Alright, so you, I'm gonna move you here, and then you're gonna moon him. Hi there, Code. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing alright. I am playing the Inkulinati. No! The strong bunny! How dare you. Alrighty, so. And then I'm gonna use an arrow on you there. There we go. And then that should heal. Switching active. Yeah, I already know how to switch active units. You're not really new at this. How's it going, Code, by the way? Oh my goodness. That is just totally unfair. You, sir, are gonna go over here. And then you're gonna stab you in the ass. There we go. Chapter 4. Work is keeping you busy this week? Hey, at least you're gonna get paid by work. Oh my god, this guy does a lot of how to steer your eyes. Yep, cool, I got that. Yep. Alright, I can't moon them again. Alright, I'm gonna do 9 hits a point of damage. There we go. And then... Yeah! Game turning into Watership Down with all the dead bunnies. You will become a legend one day. Then I will say, I am the bigger legend. Grrr. So yeah. Alright, so that ends the turn. So we restore, the boredom levels go away. Next. So we'll take all that reward. Prestige allows you to choose between dialogue options unavailable to puny peasants. Being famous does have its advantages. Master, that didn't help at all, but you're still the best. You will now visit a non-combat location. Thank you for the Hyper Himbo Queen Kaiju. Yes. Muscles. Fantastic fabric strength? Oh, yes. Only the best fabrics for the himbo. Just all stretchy and strong for these lovely, for these big pecs. Here, you won't face a battle, but decision will affect your resources. Hover your mouse over a location to view details. Here, you will permanently increase your starting health. Welcome! Would you like some of my invigorating gold drink? I'd love to. Increases the health, gives me 5 health, and increases the max by 2. If I have a greater than 199 prestige, I'm kind of famous. Don't you have some better? Nope, I don't have that. Certainly not. I would never lower myself in these vile liberations. I'll try to impress the public. Increases my prestige by 50 and gives me 10 health. Sure. Your loss, mumbles the alewife. We're so impressed, the crowd shouts. Oh, I had a choice between that and that. Okay. You have reached the end of the tiny map at the end of each map. An Inkulinati master awaits. Defeating them in battle will allow you to continue your journey. But first, you will have to defeat me to pass the final exam at the academy. What should I focus on in these battles? Most importantly, you need a large diversity of beasts. Always bring the maximum of 5 beasts with you. You'll soon be getting some new beasts, so plan your strategy carefully and watch out for boredom. Thanks for the talk, but I didn't get any of that. Spend gold to buy various items. You look kind of shabby. I won't buy a thing. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Hare with a basket. Can throw puppies up to 4 fields away, causing small explosions. You can also devour a puppy, which grants them health and motivation. What? A slow yet deadly. It can only attack adjacent fields. Devours enemies in battlefields. Sylvester Crystal. Dun, 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 dun. Can hit up to 2 fields away or 1 level away, as well as Bionox can restore health and cure from all negative status effects by purring. You put a halo on friendly beast and is anointed. Oh, is it time? Oh, wait. There's an advertisement going off. I won't do the fight while there's an advertisement going off. I feel like it would be very unfair to the viewers if there's an advertisement going off. So, but yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I should probably look into the... So, let's see. There's this... So, there's an API for pronouns. So, you can do void clear for user login. Pronoun, so you can do a pronoun lookup for user login. So it gives you, so public string object. So it needs the user. So what is it? So sub actions. So user login, optional prefix to append variables. So the following variables will be populated after executing the sub action. Pronouns current tense, lower, last case, pronoun object, and then again in lowercase, past tense, plural, themselves, pronoun subject, and then pronouns. Okay. Has not configured their pronouns, a single variable will be populated. Okay. I haven't yet done the C# stuff, but I'm getting there. All right, so we got the C# methods. Actions, arguments, C# events, logging, MIDI, miscellaneous, quotes, delete, get. We got systems, timers, UDP, users, WebSockets. We've got all the different Elgato stuff, and then we've got integrations, voice, VTube, and pronouns. So if we do pronoun lookup, gives us a signature object, but it doesn't. That doesn't really explain to me what I get when I do it, though. Like, Come on, system. Well, this looks like it's going to be some trial and error nonsense. Oh, is it time? Because I felt a bit weak a moment ago, you know? The food was spoilt or something. It would be a bit pointless to pass the exam like that with such a suffering master. Master, are you sure it was simply the food? You look a little bit under the weather. You think I can't recognize bad food while I'm eating it? Just remember one thing. A sense of humor in a bolstering wedding is better than yuppie dreading. That is my motto. Alright, cool. So we got, like, multiple levels. So we got someone at the top, someone at the bottom. You've got 2 thingy-majiggies that cost 6 and 5. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4... I got 5 thingy-majiggies. And I've got all these things. Every 2 to 3 chapters, we got Glade events. And then every 1 to 2, Ink Drizzle. Alrighty. Yep, you're up at the top. I'm at the bottom. Inkulinati scribes often get bored drawing the same beasts over and over. I already know of this. Alrighty, so... Gonna give you a nap. Interesting. Alrighty. Draw you there. So I'll get my big one there, and then... I'll let you guys take a snooze, because I don't really have a... There we go. So that gives me an increase. Chapter 2. An early start tomorrow's eve, so we'll have to talk to you later. Enjoy the game. Thank you, Benru, for the game, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Ow. You should know that I can force my beast to explode. I do so love the smell of explosions in the morning. I even get 5 extra drops of living ink for it. Not only can they explode on command, they also explode when someone kills them. Did I mention they explode, though? Alright, cool. So... I'm gonna move you up here. And then you're gonna stab above. Bam. So that's a good 5 hit. Who's his lip? And then... Yep. Ow. Fuck you. That makes it easier. Draw swordsman there. And sleep. There we go. Chapter 3. Various random events can appear on the field between Yep, cool. Ah! That wasn't a good hit. Because if they die, they explode, I believe. Alright, so... I'm gonna have you sprint, actually. And then... Yeah, you're gonna draw someone that's bloating. You're gonna push them. Alrighty. Oh, that's what I shouldn't have done that. Wait, what do you... Once an action is being taken, the unit cannot be switched. Okay, so now I can let him sleep. And then... Cool, makes that unpushable. He gets ink, I have ink. Chapter 4, and the Apocalypse Fire should be starting shortly. Ah! Alrighty, you are gonna walk over here. Six is a good hit. There we go. I'll put you there, that way you stand on a little thingamadiggy and we get 6. Bishop cats can heal friendly beasts and increase their attack strength through blessing. It is anointed, so anyone who dares attack it automatically becomes a heretic. Bishop cats deal double damage to heretics. Nice. Mm-hmm. Darn you. There we go. And an Apocalypse Fire has started. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chapter 5. Yep, I already know about the Apocalypse Fire. Whack! Woo! Ah, now now that's what I call a masterpiece. Still losing a creature. All right. So recover on 5. Everything costs like an additional 1. Prestige, beasts, hand action, and talents. Choose a beast. All right. Let's go for cheaper beasts. A new hand action. Deal 5 damage to units positioned near the exploding element. And then... let's do a dexterity thing. And then a new talent. Grants 2 levels of Halo to a random friendly beast at the beginning of each chapter. Friendly beasts regain 2 health at the beginning of each chapter. Some help. Excellent! Thanks to you, we can start having fun! Come on! Yay! Party! Say it. Thank you for the nut button. You must know that I can get real satisfaction only from looking at explosions, especially those from overeating. That's why I never miss an opportunity to feast. The party's in full swing. Look, there's Death, the oldest Inkulinati and the Master's best companion. You watch as Death bends down for an abandoned snack, their scythe dangling dangerously close to the Master's neck. And then Death reaches for the snack and the scythe delivers its fatal blow. The Master drops to the floor, breathless, lifeless. Oops, says Death. Maybe I don't need that cheese after all. Death then notices you and beckons to the front door. Come with me. I know how to fix this. I don't want to go, and I don't think I have a choice. I'll cut to the chase. Your master's dead. Trust me, I'm kind of an expert on these things. We could bring him back to life, but in order to do so, you'll have to defeat me in a duel. If you do, I will grant your wish of bringing Master back to life. I have to defeat you? But I'm just an apprentice. You must set out on a master journey and defeat at least 3 Inkulinati masters. Only then will you be skilled enough to face me. I will be waiting for you on my farm. In the meantime, I bid you farewell. Don't worry, there will be a resurrection. Bye! Wait! Yep, he's gone. Pray to reduce your boredom or gain some health. Contains gold. Cool. Alrighty. We're gonna change from... So we're gonna swap the armies around. So we're gonna change from... Actually, I'll keep you there. So yeah, because what I can do is I can do that spear... Oh, wait, no, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I can change from... Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to swap out... Actually, I'm not going to swap out either. I'm going to keep the... Because doggo, 4, 5 to 7, 4 to 6, 2, 3, 12... Oh, okay, so... No, never mind. So, we're fine as we are. Let's give it a try. Be back. Dinner time. Not to worry, Code. I hope you have a wonderful dinner. Remember that you deal 2 more damage if you hit the enemy in the back. Noted. So we got the 2 enemies there. We got this fella here. Alrighty, Let's get 2. Actually, so let's get you up here. And then you down here. And then spearman here. Oh, I should have done the spearman and the swordsman around. And then... give you 2 halos, so you increase the accuracy and the damage. And then... you, I'm gonna push forward, so then that way you're beyond the... There we go. Oh, wait, no, that was a stupid move. Because then I lose out on the... Fuck it. Never mind. Snooze on that one. Everyone snooze there. They wake up. Chapter 2. So he stabs me in the butt. So now... Oh wow, that was a much faster, like, thingy-madiggies than normal. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit harder to, like, do arrow stuff. Alrighty, so... Ah! Attacks both Jason Fields at once. They can be used once every 2 chapters. Kill you. And then Bunny will go here. And we'll do a flashing. So then that way they're knocked. And And then I will summon another doggo. Maximum players can have up to 5 beasts at any given time. Once you lose one of your beasts, you'll be able to draw a new one. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's that kind of limitation, I see. So, what else can I use the inkwells for if my... Yeah. Alright, so... Alrighty, so... Dink. Or... Stabs in the butt. Do 4 on you. Good boy. And then... Actually, where can you go? Alright, you'll go here. Awesome. And then you'll do a prayer. And then you are gonna go here. And you are gonna stab this guy here. Death! Win a battle in journey mode without taking any damage to... Okay, cool, I got Steven's. I expected more from you. Oh well, my masterpiece awaits. It was wonderful to see your tactical sense. This is fun. This is actually pretty good. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm actually, like... I am actually enjoying this a little bit. Alright, so... That guy I need to retire and swap him out for this swordsman instead. We get a new beast. I am going to go for the spear-wielding fox. So we have the option to reduce boredom and regain some health. I'm going to go for some prayer. I'm going to say, my lord, deliver me from... No, actually no. Let's go for... Yeah, let's go for some more prestige, and let's go for a fight. Alright, so we need to change our army around, so... Oh, so it's already done a swap. Alright, so let's swap this spearman, because we already got one, for a swordsman. So we got swordsman, spearman. Alright, should be good. That's a bit better. Alright, let's have a look. So... I can put you here. Headache makes me unpushable. Halo increases my accuracy. So now... So this is mace. Here. Alrighty, I'm gonna have you go here. You're gonna do a prayer. Go. 5 damage there. And let's see. Attacks up to 2 fields away, deals additional damage to heretics. Okay. I'm gonna move you there. To a friendly beast, I'm gonna give it to you. That way it increases your accuracy. Alrighty, I need to get you off the thing. Then we get Daily Supper, so he's sitting on the thing, he's gonna do it as swipe. Ow. Alrighty, so you... I'm gonna have you attack Pazzy. Because you can do quite a bit of damage to them, and we can take some ink. So they wake up, they stab me. Ah, you motherfucker. Alrighty, stand here. And... can't have you jump, really. So... you're gonna snooze in that spot to get the thingy. Yep, so you do death. There we go. There we go. That way you don't get any ink. We end our turns. Alrighty. Oh my god. Alright, so... alright, so if you go there, you go to sleep. I'm gonna put you there and deal with... yeah, this is an awkward one. But at least they didn't get any ink for that one. Hi there, Greyfist! Welcome to the stream! I'm trying to, like, do the clever moves. Trying to... alright, so they are seen now as a heretic. So now... you... oh. I'm gonna move you here. And then... 9 damage to you. Move the halo and the accuracy and the damage. Oh, fuck. Cookie for Hawaiian pizza! Here's your cookie. Alrighty, you're gonna head down here. And then... you pray. Alrighty. Ah! Alright, hopefully that should be enough damage for power word. Yeah, it should be enough. I can kill him. There we go. Unfortunately, like, we lost like 2 people with that one, but ha 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 ha! I love how the opposition's just like, congratulations, undeserved. Alright, so we end that thing there. Alrighty, so that reduces... yep. Gives us prestige and gold. So we just done that. The Master forgot to say that sometimes you'll run into elite beast battles. One type. Tiny versus beast. You already know. Now another variant of elite combat awaits you. Tiny versus beast layer. These battles are harder, but if you win, you'll get a new hand action. Remember, you can collect a maximum of 12 beasts and 9 hand actions. If you reach the limit, you can always exchange old beasts and hand actions for new ones. If you do it at the store, you'll have to pay for them. Anyways, I'm going back to back to work. Alrighty, Tiny versus Beast. During the battle, your Tiny will face off against the layer of Beast. If you win, you'll be rewarded with a new action. In this battle, you will encounter dog, 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 helmet, helmet. Alrighty, let's have a look around these. So, strong buffs. Alright, we're gonna swap. So 5, 6, 6. What's the map? Okay, no, we will. Alright, I'm gonna swap you for another. So we're gonna go with 2 spearmen. Because we got levels here. So I'm down here, they're up there. So. Chapter 1. The Beast Lair is an object that at the end of the chapter releases more beasts onto the battlefield. Regardless of the number of layers, there will never be more than 5 beasts on the battlefield at a time. There are an infinite number of beasts in the lair. Beasts don't have to leave the lair every chapter. If the lair is closed, no beast will come out of this chapter. If a beast lair is open, 1 or more enemy beasts will come out of it at the end of the chapter. The countdown before the next wave of beasts can be longer than a chapter. To check, turn on tooltip mode and hover your cursor over the lair. The tooltip will tell you how many chapters before the next wave and how many beasts will come out of it. More beasts will come out of the lair until the lair is destroyed. To win a battle against a beast lair, you must defeat all enemy beasts and destroy every enemy lair. Oh boy. Alrighty then, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put you... So I got 18 points, I'm gonna put you up here. And I'm gonna put... Let's see, so 6. I'm gonna put you over here. Now there's a logic to this, don't you worry. There's a logic to this. You over here. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna push this guy 1 to the right. So then that way he's sitting all over the pots. And then I'm gonna give the 2 of you blessings. Increasing the accuracy. And... Yep, I'm gonna leave you. So yeah, and then I'm gonna sleep. So he goes forward, he goes asleep. There we go. So we get 12 inks for that. New dog is summoned. A random glade object. During your journey, you'll come across a variety of beast lairs. In the glade, you'll find beehives and rabbit holes. You'll also see suspicious trees where pigeons and foxes nest. And in the town, you'll find king's tents from which armies of dogs will emerge. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Oh, there could have been a 7. Gosh darn it, I missed the 7 again. So you go sleep there. I'm gonna have you stand here, and then you're gonna kill the dog. There we go. Alrighty. Cat costs 8. I'm gonna go for another archer. I'm gonna put you up here. Giving me 7 points to then do... You know what? I'm gonna do an archer here next. Because there's like 3 dots we can pick up there, which gives us 15 points. And then... Yep, gonna snooze here. There we go. Chapter 3. Random Glade, Ink Rain. Cool. So you stand there. You're gonna be grabbing ink at the end of the chapter. Ooh, actually, hang on. Gonna have you hit him because I want to wait till something gets summoned before I like, you know, grab that one. So you're fine there. You are gonna stab right in front. 6 points, leaving 2. And then you will just do death. want to move you closer. I'm gonna have you just, you know, do a thing. You are gonna pray. And you are going to sleep. Because, yeah, we're already at 5. That's gonna summon something. Yep. Oh, okay, I see how this is gonna go. Alrighty. Fuck it. And then you're gonna show your behind. So, accuracy, headache. And then I'm gonna have you move up. And then you're gonna shoot an arrow into this thing. So yeah. This is gonna be a fun one. I'm quite enjoying this. I'm gonna move you to this one here. Give you a cheap shot to this guy. There we go. And then you are going to give halos to 2 of these peeps. There we go. And I'm gonna have... Ah, I can't. Okay. Never mind, just gonna have you sleep ahead of time. So they get closer to ink and they can do a random heal if they wanted to. I need to get... I need to get through this quicker before the, Yep, that guy. Alrighty, Alright, so... Yep, you can... 4. Alrighty, and then... You stand on the thingy-madiggies, and death! So that gets the top ones out of the way. And then I'm gonna move you here to do a backstab, which will just kill you on whichever. Ah, now that's what I call a masterpiece. Nice. So boredom increases. So yeah, 3. Yeah, that one was gonna be a bit high. So prestige, gold, and a hand action can give us drain 3 drops of living ink from up to 3 ink blots that are next to each other. Increase the level of a friendly beast halo by 2. Force an enemy beast to take a nap and skip a turn. So that's a range of 5, a 4, and a 3. I'm gonna go with this one. Spend gold for various items. You look kind of shady. I won't buy a thing. Here, permanently increase your starting health. Permanently increase your starting ink. Do you wish to study to increase your starting ink? So if I'm 200, my starting ink goes down. Oh, my boredom goes down by 2, and my health and I heal up by 5. I'm gonna go for the... Yep, that one. And then... An Inkulinati duel. Godfrey. What madness is this? One such as yourself would dare challenge me? Godfrey the Mighty! Who are you, Tinhead? What is this I hear? You dare to insult Sir Godfrey the Crusher of Enemies? Yes. Alrighty, so... actually, so we got 2 levels. We got, like, weird cabins. Swordman, dun. Yes, that's fine. Because if any of them get close to me. In an unfamiliar meadow where 2 towers... Gates are an unpushable element of the battlefield that protect against attacks coming from the same level. They can be destroyed. The color of the gate indicates which army it belongs to. Only beasts of the same color as the gate may walk through it. You can push your enemies against your gate, they will bounce off it, take 6 damage, and if you're still alive, return to the field they came from. Wait, what? You can push your opponents against your gate. They'll Oh, okay. Alrighty, so, first and foremost, Bowman, you go up here. I really need Bowman. Swordsman will go here. I need ground units is what I need. And you will go here. There we go. Alrighty, so you're gonna draw someone. Alright, so you're surrounding yourself with your units. Well, the good news is that these are my doors. I didn't think you had any. Okay. So. Oh, that's not a very far distance. That was dumb. Alrighty, and then Spearman can go step forward, and then I'm gonna have you step through my guy. There we go. You move it to the right, and there's an explosion here and there. Nope, I'm just gonna let you snooze. So then another turn should pass shortly. 3. Yep, cool, so you get health. You've got a headache. Alrighty, so I'm gonna have you go here. So if I push you, you take 6. Would have been way more than... Yep. Oh, because the door gives me no line of sight. Okay. That makes sense. You draw someone up there. Yep, cool. Alright, so this guy, I'm gonna put you here.
Sipping time sponsored by Het Video Restaurant.
Oh, alright. Self-care time. Thank you, Het. I appreciate it. Oh, damn, he did like 7 oh my god. Alright, you open the door there. And then you get pushed 1 movement to the right. And I'm gonna summon my big boy bunny here. There we go. And then I'm gonna give you the holy things. There we go. And can I do 5 damage? Yep, I can do 5 damage to... If I'm gonna do 5 damage to you, you're not gonna get ink. There we go. And then end the turn here. So yeah, so keep your ink blots low. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you try and do a stabby thing. And then you are gonna kill them from down there. There we go. Alrighty, cool. Alright, awesome. So you don't do the thing. You move, you... Oh, I can't push, okay. Here we are, so push you one step closer. Yep, so you break the door. Oh, I should have done a both stabby thing if I could. Oh, damn you. Alrighty, you go here. And you pray. You go there. There we go, giving me 3 dots. Apocalypse fire! It's over 30 degrees here, so I'm on a self-care mission as well. Fair enough, then. Now, excuse me as I try and get through these madmen. Oh, I should have moved my character. I shouldn't have. Yeah, I should have. Alrighty, so you're there. I'm gonna move you here. And then spear through to you. Oh, it's not these guys that do the spearing of like 2 enemies. It's the other guys. Gosh darn it. Alrighty. Bash to kill you. So you're not a problem. And then you are going to move here to do a hit on this guy. Because you can always, like, just... Alrighty, and then you are going to move here. And then... You're going to bring a cat person... I'm going to have you standing on this. And then... You're gonna sleep. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm gonna need to move that bunny as soon as I can. I wish I could push this guy, but I can't. Chapter 6. Yep, so these guys heal, but that guy is about to die, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's not a good one. Wait, why didn't you... Oh my gosh. Alrighty, fine. Dig, dog. Yeah, we've done it. Go, miraculous healing. You up here, that way I get another thingamadoogie, and actually tap you, fuck you. I should have done that sooner. Yay, I defeated Godfrey. I expected more from you. Oh well, my masterpiece awaits. Tis but a scratch. And oh yeah, I need bowmans. I need like bowmen to be able to like, let's see, is there a, yep, fox wielding bow or a dog wielding bow. So dog wieldings will do a hail of arrows. So foxes can never become heretics. Attacks steal 1 drop of living ink from the enemy army, adding it to its own reserves. Yep, we're gonna go with that one. Target friendly beast will become motivated. Motivated can perform an action after moving in their sprint range. Motivation ends when the... Okay. And that's a range of 4. So take 2 turns. Explosions and living ink. I'm gonna go with the explosion. Hey! Faded! Welcome, welcome. You had to take my shirt, didn't you? As I have to think very carefully in this game. Very carefully. Each halo increases the beast's damage and accessory by 1. Will also remove heresy. The maximum number of halos on a beast is 3. Decreased by 1 when the halo... So, hand actions used on friendly beasts increase their halo. Moving enemies with a hand action inflicts bleeding. Dealing the minimum amount of damage during a dexterity will trigger a random event. Beasts with a base cost of 7 or less are 1 drop of ink cheaper. A random enemy beast will turn into a heretic at the beginning of each chapter. I like the cheaper than cheap. I'm quite confident you were cheating. That's not very fair, is it? And you think you're closer to bringing your master back to life? I wouldn't put my faith in death. Alright, so we're in a new path. So we can start from any of these 3. Goose! Honk honk. We get a spare quill and some health. Lose the prestige for a quill and lose health. What a silly little goose. Let me feed you. Honk, says the goose. Tiny versus Beast Lair encounter. 20, 20, 9, 10, and 12. So we're there, and the thingy-majiggy is there. Okay, so this game is relatively smart on, like, swapping out the things that cost too much. Alrighty, so... I need you... Actually, you are gonna go here. I'm gonna get my big guy out sooner. And... Oh, I should have pushed you. I should have pushed you into the ink blot so that now I had an extra 3 come in. Chapter 2. So there's that guy there. Ooh, that was a lucky hit there. Alrighty, so you're gonna push forward. You're gonna try and do a hit, or not. Fine. Take a nap, get a headache, and lose accuracy. Won't work if they're not facing. Oh, okay. So they only. Yeah, let's give him a headache. And then let's get another doggo. Rawr. Hope the game is going well. It looks interesting. It is Inkulinati. It is a fun little like strategy game. It reminds me of like watching what's his name? Frost Prime. That's it. Frost Prime was like playing a game called Ooh, I can swoosh you all the way across here. That way I'm closer to the tent for summoning purposes. And I can push you all the way to the left, so you're in more danger of thingy-majiggies. And I can I'm gonna put you over here. There we go, giving us 12 inks at the end. And I'm gonna give you guys some holy thingy-majiggies, so you're more likely to kill them. So yeah, it's got some thinking, it's got some strategy to it, which is, I'm gonna be real, bit tough, but, you know, we do what we can. Oh, and he's got a big boy. And then he's gonna stab me from below. So now I am going to... Actually, I'm not gonna have him shoot. I'm gonna have... you... do a hit, killing him. There we go. So now you're moving. Yep, you're snoozing. So now I can do... Actually, I can do a shot on you. This would be the more advantageous action. Because if you die, you die. That's what it is. You, meanwhile, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to push you across. So then that way you can stab up. There we go. And then... Okay, so I can't poke you for another turn. So if I move you across... It makes me in more danger, but... I should then be able to... I'm gonna put you here for the ink blot. And then... I'm gonna have you pushed... So then that way you're not near me. And then I'm gonna have a snooze. Because my character's health, Andreas's health, is the important one. So everyone gets their daily... Ah, you mother... Ah, well, I knew it was smart to... Fuck it. Ding. There we go. And then you are gonna do a stabbies? Or are you gonna stab through to... Yep, you're gonna stab through to me. I'm gonna do a mace to hit you. There we go. And then... I'm gonna have you go here. Gonna push you across. And then you, I'm gonna stab... actually, so I'm gonna have you walk here. Then you are gonna stab down. That way Archibald has left health. And then forces an enemy to take a nap and skip its turn. No valid targets in range. Actually, fuck it. I'm just gonna... That was annoying that they were able to get an Archibald out like they did. So... So you there. And then... push you across. And... Oh, I can't have any more. Gosh darn it. I'm gonna have you go across one, because I have enough ink blots as it is, so... So yeah, so he will have to like move here if he wants to take a hit. Chapter 5. I'm glad you think it's cool. Yeah, so he does that to push him. I'm gonna move you here, so then that way we can do a... Ah, I shouldn't have clicked so soon. Alrighty then, so then you... Actually, let's get you moving... Let's get you moving here. So then that way... Yep, there we go. I wish there was a... I need to figure out a way to heal you. Ah, now that's what I call a masterpiece. We took on a lot of health hits for that. We got hit for like 13 health when we did the push. We got healed back 5, which was... Or 4, which was nice. Prestige and a hand action. Draw a barrel. They can only be of this type in a given field. Can be on this... So it creates a... Say, it creates a barrel... Draw an object that covers your beast and tiny from spear and bow attacks. Or a barrel. Creates an obstacle that occupies one field. You know what? I'm gonna get the barrel. Tiny versus wild beast encounter. Ooh boy. Alright, let's give this a try. And for whatever reason, there's a fart cloud up there. Okay. So. Swordsman, you're gonna go there. Ed the Young. Spearman, you're gonna go there. Bowman, you're gonna go there. And another swordsman up here. That way you're able to, like, do what have you. I'm gonna do 5 damage to this thing, just right at the get-go. And sleep. So that cat person I'm probably gonna want to get rid of. Oh, I wonder if this the... No, it's not the orientation. It's not the orientation. Alright, so they stabbed me, so... I am going to backstab them. A beast is a heretic. Did someone attack an anointed? A bishop, perhaps? Do they have a dark halo above their head now? This beast is now a heretic, and they will take double damage from the anointed, i.e. bishops and others who live a pious life. To fix this, get that beast a halo through prayer or other means. Lol, and it just goes away, no probs. And he's just gonna stab up into the butt. That was expected. Alrighty then. You, I am going to have you, actually... Oh, you're already snoozing, so... Yeah, I'm gonna stab you, and I should have gone for the 6. I forgot to do the 6. And then Slug moves slowly. You, I'm gonna move here. Sevesta Crystal! I'm sorry if I'm not too chatty, chat. I am in deep, pensive thought. Alright, so any hits I do to you is a death. Any... Yep, let's go with you, just so then that would... Yes! That was a good hit. 6 is a good hit. Alrighty, and then you can't do a poke. And... I'm gonna anoint you. I'm gonna give you another halo, so then that way your accuracy is 2. Dun, 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 dun. Ink drizzle. And then a random thingy-majiggy gets a thingy. So you do a word thingy-majig. Alright. You, I'm gonna have throw an arrow at. There we go, killing them. You go to sleep. They are anointed, and they're gonna stab Ed. Fuck you. You're gonna get stabbed now. Get stabbed. Alright, so now Snail. What? They just fucking eat them? Jesus. Ooh, boy. Alright, so there's... Alright, I'm gonna see what happens if I go up here. Because there's like a random thingy-majiggy. Removes the accuracy. Oh, it just makes me snoozy. Alright, cool. Hit you for 5. Fuck you. And then... Take 6 damage. Snooze. I'm fine with them getting 3 ink blots. It's not like they're gonna heal. Apocalypse fire! Yep, does it on the door, does it on there, does it on there. Chapter 4. Small infection. Oh, Jesus. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Oh, God. Alright. Ding. Cool. And then... You are going to move to the right. You, small boy. And then you are going to... I'm gonna do a cannonball. I'm gonna do you, so then that way you have to go through this guy. And then I'm gonna win. Oh, there's no. You. There we go. So you are. I'm gonna have you sprint Okay, so if you... I'm gonna do sleep, so you can do prayer. Your Halo, like, 2 or something. Oh, cool, the thingy-majiggy is dead. Never mind. I was worried I was gonna get killed, but turns out that is not what happened. I get a little more of my health back. The swordsman is really low, so I'm gonna need to swap it for the dog swordsman. Prestige and gold. Attend a performance to reduce your boredom. So that's a beast battle. That's a tiny versus wild beast encounter. And then that's an elite tiny versus wild beast counter. I'm gonna go with the tiny. Spend gold to buy various items. Rumors say whoever tries your cookies will get better deals. Why would I say that? Because that reduces, like, my... No. Gonna increase my thingy-majiggies. And then we go into a tiny beast and wild encounter. So we got Cerberus, the three-headed dog. We got Doggo, Cat, Bun. Alright, cool. And then we've got our 3 thingy-majiggies. Alright, I'm gonna swap out... I'm gonna swap out the Halo for a barrel. So... Because, yeah, it looks like I'm in between, like, 2 different doors. I don't know what that is. Fire Sparks, a battlefield element that you can stand on, deals 3 damage to beasts and tiny standing on it at the end of the chapter. Water destroys Fire Sparks, and Fire Strikes will destroy water if created on a field that has it. Okay. Cool. Alright. Dog? Rough. Dog. What about the Spartoons? What about the Spartoons? I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, and then Bunny. And Bunny. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna draw a barrel here. I'm gonna see what happens when barrels are drawn in these, like, fire pit sections. And then poke 5 damage to Izzy up here. And I will end the turn. I'm doing my best, Code. Alrighty, chuck. So yeah, so the fire traps literally just burn whoever stands there. Alright, so they're standing there, willing to take the 3. Hits me for bleeding. Oh, shit. Alrighty, what in the world? Why do I have a butt? Can't move there without sprinting. If I move... I'm gonna move here. And I'm gonna do a prayer. That way. That way it stops him from going into the spot. And now... I'm gonna do a prayer here in the doorway. I don't like this bleeding bit. Alright, so because the door is opened, I get to do... Oh yeah, because these 2 guys have a chance to... Okay. 3. 3. Makes me unstoppable, gives me a halo. You try and push from there. And now I just do this. Hits him for 5. Pushable. I don't really have a good spot to push you. Can't Push you. So pushing you is not possible. Pushing me pushes you into the doorway. Yeah, the only one it has to push is... No. Not good. Sorry, I looked away for a second. You say something? It's okay, Code. How was dinner? How was that going? I'm, like, strategizing as best as I can. This is a very thinky game. And he throws me for another hit for 3. So, I'm gonna swipe at you for a death blow. There we go. Thank you, Little John. You do another stabbies. There we go. 8 damage is pretty good. You hooked me for 1. I'm gonna move 1 spot. So in that way, I'm gonna stab you for 4 damage because you're sitting in an empty spot, deadbeat. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna hit you for death. Because I don't want you standing up there. There we go. Doggo will keep... Actually, Doggo can move elsewhere. Move you to the left. So then that way I'm 1 spot closer to poke you for 5 hits. There we go. And then... Yep, I don't have to worry about anyone there. So I'm gonna draw a barrel here, so then that way they can't just, like, run in. So, there we go. Fire spark! Oh, god damn you. Oh, this is gonna be... Alright, well, at least everyone gets their daily supper. Oh my god, are you kidding? Alright, you... stab... this guy. Oh, wait, no, I didn't want to do... Oh, no. That's a problem. Because now, yep, he pushes forward. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, not if I move here and then do the hit. There we go. That's it. Alright, cool. I almost fucked myself over. As an old friend used to say, images illuminate a path to the truth. In this case, your loss. Although my guy is, like, bleeding heavily and has lost so much fucking health. And he gets 5... Yep, got 5 points of health. Prestige and... Ugh. So now there's a thingy there. I gotta deal with Cerberus. Fire sparks will appear on the battlefield at the end of each chapter and deal damage to anything on the field. Every 1 to 3 chapters is a hell event. Every 1 to 2 there's drizzle. Oh boy. Alright, I need to... So I'm on either side. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of the barrel and replace it with the bombs. Alright, let's see how we go here. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm gonna need some troops. Alright. 5 points. You go there. Me. Archer, you go here. And Archer, you go here. Draw an explosion. Wait, what's this? Draw a cauldron or bean. To be careful, it's more dangerous than it looks, causes a small explosion when destroyed. So I get 9 thingies for that. And they're probably gonna start throwing axes at me and breaking my, and they're gonna break my quill. Alright, I'm gonna move you here. I'm gonna see if I can push you over there. Cool. Damn you. Alrighty, so... AoEs. Yep, I already know about the AoEs, so... Ah, that wasn't a good one. There we go. I'm gonna push you. Ah, I can't push you out of the way. Gosh darn you. Hi there, Sage. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? I'm expecting that thing to explode and it's gonna kill my thing. Oh, doesn't explode yet. That's good. Although I'm bleeding right now, which is a problem. Cool. Fuck it. I'm gonna have you attack this person just so we can get it out of the way. Oh my goodness. I expected more from you. Oh well, my masterpiece awaits. Aren't you ashamed of winning like that? Nope, absolutely not. Not while you have me bleeding. Prestige, gold, and a beast. Donkey Hurt can only attack adjacent, can push enemies, able to grant motivation to allied beasts, can give a really bad headache. Did we mention this beast plays the butt trumpet? Those prayers, easy target. Alright, let's give the dog the impalement. And then we have the option of increase your starting health, increase your starting ink. I'm gonna go with increasing my starting health if I can. I'm kind of famous. Don't you have some better free type, especially for celebrities? Of course, of course. Down on their luck, celebrities are always welcome here. Here's half a glass. The gold drink fills you with some strength, but you wish you had more. The butt trumpet. I'll use it in battle. How wonderful to see you. I know why you're here, and I would be delighted to accept a duel. Fancy any of my legendary herbs before we start? Yes, it will be an honor. There you are. This one's my specialty. It will get you back on your feet, okay? Let's get started. So, receive double damage from the anointed. So, someone gets randomly thingy-madiggied. Blessed Anger has, whenever a tiny receives damage from any attack, random friendly beast will gain 2 levels of Halo. Your beasts with Halo will deal additional damage against heretics and devils. Attacking your beast with Halos will cause the enemy beast to become heretics. Oh, joy. Alrighty, Alright, so, wait, did I get the donkey with the butt trumpet? No, I did not. Okay. So yeah, that one makes the heretics and does the thingy. Left, right, so they're up there. Hi, I am Rosa. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing alright. I'm gonna get rid of... because the poking ain't gonna be as helpful as the anointed. This ain't gonna be as useful as the barrel. Actually, yeah, barrel. Next. Alrighty, I only have, like, 16 health. Alrighty, so... they're up there. Alright, I'm gonna create this one here. So they start their turn in, like, the anointed thingy-majiggy, getting the ink. I'm gonna put you here. That way, if someone attacks me with that thingy-majiggy, they become a heretic. And I'm gonna put you, because I don't have any other archers here. So that should help me gain 9 points, and then it's... Actually, you know what? Halos on the both of you. There we go. Have I watched Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail? Yes, I have. I have seen Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail. I'm a little annoyed bunnies don't get, like, more damage in them. It would just be really funny for that to happen. Alright, I'm gonna put a barrel here. I'm gonna make it just extra annoying for them by putting the barrel there, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. Yep, so they're smart. They're putting a thingamadiggy there. And then they're putting a bunny there. You used to quote that movie a lot? Oh, yeah, like, so would I. 1, 2, 5, 3. Alright, cool. So, yep, so that doggo's got the blessing. And, of course, someone's got to have the daily heresy. You are gonna sprint for the ink blot. Oh! Oh, that's bullshit. How dare. Well, he's already heresy, so what is he gonna be, double heresy? And then he gains a halo, which is funny. And then he... Oh my god, the archer really throws it. Alright. Can I... Can't draw a thing, can't do a halo, can't force a character to nap. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna... Fuck it, I'm gonna bring another doggo in. Because... Alrighty. And then... Doggo, I'm gonna push into this thingamadiggies. And then sleep. Yep, cool. Cool. So that increases my ink by a little bit. So now it's chapter 3. Oh, Daily Heresy. Cool, thanks. Alright, here we go. Would it be nice if it was a 7, but sure. You're gonna throw an arrow there, and it's gonna be double damage. Yep, that's fine. Let's do 6 to you. There we go. Oh, I forgot to put the cat to sleep! Fuck's sake. Alright, hang on. Fuck's sake. Alright, doggo... Actually, Bun, you go there. And then I'm gonna swipe you to the left for death. And then Sword Doggo is gonna go there. And then I'm gonna force you to go to sleep. There we go. And then I'm gonna give you 2 halos. And then I'm gonna draw a barrel here so you can't get the holy thing, Harold. The butt trumpet in this game remind me of the animation from the movie. Ah, oh yeah, like the angels with the butt trumpets. I see what you're talking about. I love how she just wasted like a thingamajiggy to be like, back and forth, back and forth. Alrighty, I am going to have you go here and push you. Get fucked. Use the halo. Chapter 4. And Daily Heresy. Cool. I don't know why you don't sleep when you do that, but sure. Alrighty, you walk all the way over here. And I'm gonna do just 4 hits to you. I don't care that my characters get heresy. As long as you don't get close to my enemy, we're good. What? Oh, that's annoying. Well, you wasted. Great. Alright, okay. You don't really have a lot of range, do you? Alright. Let's get you here, just so then that way. And you're gonna do a sleep. And then you are gonna go up here. And I'm gonna have you shoot. That way you don't get that 3 health that you wanted. Gives me heresy, and then I instantly get it back. And you're a 3. Holy shit. I'm going to need to push you, and I can. Yep, so you wasted on that. One-shot kill. Push you, so you're dead. Fuck you. And then... yeah, I'm fine with that. Sure. Alrighty, you are gonna go here. And you are going to do... fuck it. 6 damage to you, because fuck you. And then... I'm gonna push you to the right. And then... I'm gonna draw a barrel here. And then... sleep. Woo! One-sided fire? Oh, that's annoying. Well, at least I made the right decision of pushing in that way. Chapter 6. Random Glade Ink Showers. Cool. Oh, and... cool, you had to heresy my... oh, fuck you. Fuck. Actually, hang on. Whirlwind. There we go. That way, that thing is out of the way, so then that way you can't push me into... I have, like, no ink, annoyingly enough, which is going to be a problem. It's gonna be a big problem. Random Blade, Heresy. Come on. Alright, cool. Yes! Fuck you, nun! As an old friend used to say, images illuminate a path to the truth. In this case, your loss. I should have seen that coming. The time of penance is upon me. My goodness, I lost so many... Inkless in Cincinnati? Where in Cincinnati? I have no clue what you were talking about there. Alright. Mighty Dog. Halo. And at the beginning of chapter, all beasts and tinies wake up. The chapter ends once everyone on the battlefield uses their turn and takes a nap. Wait. If a tiny has less than 50% health, it gains 6 drops each chapter. Gain 6 drops if a hand kills a beast. Deal the minimum amount of damage during a dexterity will trigger a random event. If the tiny, a random ally will gain an armor at the beginning of each chapter. Induces bleeding. I'm gonna go with Desperate Cunning. This failure is a lesson in humility for me. As for you, your lesson of the day is... Masters are people too, consumed by their weaknesses. Not all nobles are indeed noble. Mark my words. Alright, so we got this guy here. So we have the option of either buying things, increasing our starting health. I think we want to increase our living ink next. So we need to spend gold for the prestige. Tiny versus a beast lair encounter. Another beast encounter. Okay, this is gonna be something. Show me what you got. Alright. Let's heal. Reduce the boredom. And let's get our... You know what? Let's get ourselves a fucking devourer. Like, Jesus. Alright, so we need to go... So we can either go for the top or the bottom. Alright, we're gonna go for the elite tiny, because we've got as much health as we can. There's only us at the top and all these things at the bottom. Alright. Let's see. I'm gonna get rid of the mace, and I'm gonna swap it with Sir Snail. We're gonna see how Sir Snail does. Alright, that has been useless. We're swapping to... Actually, there we go. Because there's not been a time, like, because Cincinnati is a city in Ohio, but the quote that H was referencing is from things, so it's from Phineas and Ferb. Noted. Alrighty, move you across. And then, so then that way I don't get pushed into a thingy. You go here. There you go, Dominic. And then I'm gonna put a barrel... I'm gonna put a barrel... here. Just for the houses of it. Alrighty. And then I'm gonna give 2 holy circles to you there. And... Yep, snooze. So 6 inks. Oh! Is that what the boxes do? Ooh, I don't like the looks of that. Alrighty, so you're gonna walk there. You're gonna devour this pigeon. Reduces the halo, reduces the accuracy. Thanks for the arrow to the chest. Well, you're gonna get vored next. Ugh. Armor's gone. So they get hit for 3. Daily supper, so you get your thing. Maw you. And then... I don't know why the sheep makes me nap. I have such a toxic relationship. It's fine. And he's getting more. Oh my god, and then they just randomly heal. Yep, cool. Oh boy. This was difficult. Daily supper and desperate cunning. Alrighty, cool. So maul this thing. And then oh! can be a beautiful illusion, though once the creative juices dry up, it turns into a nightmare. Oh. A quill saved you. Tiny ink, so from 0 to 28, every beast's boredom is -3. Alright, cool. Fleeing will allow you to continue to journey despite losing a battle. However, you won't get any rewards for fleeing, so better to take your revenge in a rematch. Let's have a think. I got my impression from this game. Do I want to rematch? Here's the thing, is if I do that rematch, I don't think it's gonna work out in my... No, actually, you know what? Rematch. I don't care if I... So, first and foremost, so... On 2 adjacent, pushes the target can be used every chapter. Gives the 1 level halo, makes them temporary. Alright, so... Do... Ding, donk. Get rid of the power word and do that. And then... Swap bunny for... There we go. That's what we'll do. That should hopefully... Alright, so... you... Wait, why can't I... Oh, seriously? I can't... Okay. Oh, okay, so if I push across through here, it's gonna cost me 3... Oh my god. Alright. Here's what's gonna happen. So... Spearman here. Bowman here. Bowman here. Alright, and then... I'm gonna... So swiping you would be death. I'm gonna swipe you here. And then swipe... Oh. I'm gonna give you 2 halos. That way... And then swipe you to the right. That way I get out of the way of the box, and I put myself on an ink blot. There we go. That's a better start. Rather than putting all my money on the... Yep. Chapter 2. Alrighty. Of course the pigeon decides to push me. The righteous bastard. Alrighty, and then spear. This. That way I don't have to deal with you again. Do I not have the... Yep, cool. Awesome, put you there. And then... Go and sleep. Oh, they're pigeons. They can just fly up floors. Well, it's a good thing I'm getting Bowman out on this thing. Alright, cool. So you're done. I'm gonna give you 2 extra halos. And then you are also gonna get a halo. And then you, I'm gonna push here. And then sleep. And that way I don't lose out on a turn. And then you, I'm gonna push here. And you're gonna stab down. There we go. You get armor, of course. Oh, what the? Okay. Here. And then... there. Fly down. And then you're gonna... Wait, do pigeons get a flocking bonus or something? Yeah, they do. This is how I'm gonna lose quills, aren't I? God damn it, this map is a lot harder than the last one. What the hell? Maybe I should have just, like... Alrighty, hit you for 7. Get seen as heretic. Oh, joy. And because I'm sleeping, I can't make any, like, thingies. Oh. Oh, that's painful. I thought I was so fucking smart before. God damn it, I thought I was smart. Yep, and then I get stabbed and this is how I die. And that's another... Sorry, you're doing great. You weren't here, like, you weren't here for, like, when I was doing well. Ah, like, it's not like I'm at, like, it wasn't like it was, you know, just ramped up impossibly. What did you expect? I'm an illustrator, not a tactician. Moments like these are worth being drawn for. Ah, that's another quill broken. Like, ah. Alright, no, I'm gonna save and quit here. So, more of these will be unlocked with prestige. And I haven't got any prestige yet. Academy would help me with more things. I am going to call the stream here, because otherwise I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be at this for like hours, no doubt. I don't know if I want to, I don't know if I'll play it again, I will be real with you. Because, yeah, strategy games are fun, but your Zeebs is not a strategy guy. Like, the RTS and the turn-based, like, I'm not that smart. Like, I don't know if Boulder Gate ain't, like, showed you some side of me that was, like, super fucking uber clever. It's like, no. It's not that. Although apparently, like, looking at, like, the post-game summary, only 19% of people have defeated Hildegard. So it seems like there is, like, quite a filter when going through this game. Or this is a game where everyone gets it and such. Because, like, let me have a look at this. So, the tutorial, 74% of people have completed a tutorial. Fatal Blows, where I one-shot a beast, is, like, half of people. Killing an enemy that killed a friendly beast is 61, so yeah, that's pretty high. Win a battle and journey without taking an damage to your tiny Inkulinati. So 40% of people have done that. 41 an elite battle. 37 defeat Godfrey. Yeah, so like the percentages drop really quickly progression-wise. What are the other, like, so the lower of the percentages are obviously death, defeating death in different, like, difficulties and what have you. Dante, defeat death on easy or normal. Win every intermediary lesson, complete the last intermediary. Okay, so it looks like easy or... So it looks like I can play it on easy or normal, and I would be able to defeat death that way. So maybe that's what I'll do, is, like, the next time you see me play this, you're going to see me play it on the easy difficulty first. And then once I get my once I get my chops together and what have you, then you'll see me play at the higher difficulties or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? I certainly don't. But yeah, I'm thinking, like, do I want to play it again? Because the thing is that I wasn't, like, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but it's in that realm of fun for me where it's like, oh, I'm willing to, like, just shut up and play it for a little bit. Like, the only times I was commenting were, like, when I was, wording out my strategy and what have you. So, and I don't know if strategy, like, I don't know if a game like that encourages people to chat and what have you, because I do thank Ribber and you, Sage, for, like, sticking around and what have you. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, I'll probably look through more of the gifted games and such like that next Monday. Wednesday will be the Yakuza game, as always. We got so much more of that franchise to go. And then Friday is going to be a special one, because since I'm helping out someone at work on Wednesday, so I'm working during the public holiday, I have elected for having Friday as my day off rather than the normal Eka holiday. So that means that, when Friday comes along, I'm actually going to be playing Warhammer 40k Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. So hopefully that will be a fun one. I remember Unnamed playing it, and I'm going to be real with you, I want to play Space Marine 2 with Unnamed. So I feel like I need to go through Space Marine 1 in order to understand the lore a little bit, and just to get the feel of, like, hack and slash games in my whatsamahoozies. So let's have a look at who is online and who it is that we are gonna go and raid. Ooh, Valkyrie is online. We're gonna go raid into Valkyrie, all right? Give me a moment. We're gonna go raid into Valkyrie. I'm pretty sure they'll love that, all right? Ding. Yep, they're at the top of my recommended list as well. So we're gonna go raid into Valkyrie. The Zeebs. What do I want to type in? So it looks like they're playing the killing floor right now. What do I want to type? What's our raid message? Strategist Zeebs approaches. Let's go with Nah, let's not go with strategists. What would... Alright, what are they talking about? Just having a listen to what they're talking... Oh, maybe you can hear what's being said in the background as well. They said big dick. Fuck it. BDE coming through. Actually, no, not BDE coming through. We heard there's BDE in the stream. That is going to be our raid message. I am going to do the raid message with so I'm going to do the raid message with the what and the woo icon. So you're welcome to choose either one or both at the same time, or put in your own emotes. But yeah, that is going to be it for tonight's stream. I just want to say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream as we tried out Inkulinati. I greatly appreciate it. I might play it more privately. I'm not too sure if I'll do another stream with it. Wednesday you'll have me for more Yakuza, but then Friday you'll have me for Space Marine, and Saturday is our normal MMO. We're now going to raid into Valkyrie Nixie as they play Killing Floor 2 with a whole ton of peeps. I hope you all enjoy it, and I hopefully will see you all next time. Bye for now.